Loretta with Grown and Vegan, and today we are going to be making mushroom and spinach pizza, vegan of course. The crust we're going to be making is inspired by the Preppy Kitchen, but I'm going to be adding a few of my additions to it to make it my own. It turns out really well, and I'm very excited for you to make this with me. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, to get it started, I'm going to use 3/4 cup of almond milk. I'm using almond milk instead of water. If you prefer to use water, go for it. Let's see. Get that measured right. Oh, that's a whole cup. All right, that's about 3/4 of a cup. And I'm just gonna warm this up, not getting it to boiling or anything. Just wanna warm up this almond milk. And then we'll do the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the pizza crust. And as I just showed you, I've warmed up 3/4 of a cup of almond milk. And I'm using almond milk instead of water, but you're welcome to use water if you prefer. I just felt that it may give it a little bit better flavor, but we're gonna find out. So I warmed this up and tested it. It's about 100 degrees. You should be able to touch it and it not burn your finger. And then I'm going to add half a tablespoon of sugar, and I'm using cane sugar. And then I have this pizza crust yeast. I'm not sure really what the difference is. It says homemade pizza in 30 minutes, so it must be pretty fast activating yeast. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my sugar and milk mixture. And then just going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and we'll be back in the video. While the yeast is getting activated, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the flour and other dry ingredients. So we need 2 cups of flour. You can use whatever flour you want. I'm using just all-purpose flour today. And when you're measuring flour, you know, you just want to level it off. So I'm probably getting ready to make a mess. I haven't quite perfected this part as far as not being so messy, but I'll get there. So 1 cup. My goal is also to move away from using a lot of white flour, but you know, it's baby steps on what we can do. This time I'm going to try to scoop this in to the bag. Okay, so there's the 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to add some seasonings into the flour because you want, this is going to be the crust, and you want it to have, at least I would like for it to have some flavor. So I'm going to add some seasonings into my flour. So I've got some Italian seasoning here. And this is just a mixture of marjoram, oregano, thyme, rosemary, savory, whatever that means, basil, and sage. I think I'm going to use about a tablespoon of this. We'll see what it looks like in the mixture here. I'm going to use a tablespoon of garlic powder. And then I'm going to use, let's see, I think a teaspoon of salt. And I have pink salt. And then I'll just mix that together. Now, it looks like I could put a little bit more of the Italian seasoning in. So I'm going to go back in and put, this time, just a half of a tablespoon of this Italian seasoning. And that should be good. Okay, so that's just the dry ingredients. This recipe is very, very simple. It looks like the yeast has bubbled up now. If you can see this, you just want it to bubble up so that you know that the yeast is alive. And now we're just going to mix in the dry ingredients into this mixture here. Now sometimes you have to end up putting a little bit more flour, but we're going to see what we got before we add anything else. If you have a bread mixture, that's fine. You can use your bread mixer. I don't have one of those, so just gonna be my hand here. I think I'm gonna switch to a spoon because it's just getting caught up in that. It's already starting to become doughy. Okay, now you want to get some flour on your hands so you can start to work with the dough. The goal is to get it to be smooth, and this looks like it is smooth. Okay, so we got the dough nice and smooth, and you can see the herbs in there. So that's going to make a nice crust. So now we're going to transfer it to a bowl. We're going to put some olive oil in the bowl. And then we're just going to put our ball of dough in here and coat this dough with the olive oil as well. And then we're going to pop it in. I have an oven that I have warmed up. I warmed it as low as I could go. It was 170 on my oven. So I got it to the 170 and turned it off. And I'm going to sit this in and let this rise because it needs the warmth, and that will encourage it to rise. And then once it has doubled in size, I'll be back in the video. Hey guys, this has risen. Look how nice. It's quite a bit different than where we started from. And it only took about 30 minutes. So using that yeast was a pretty good idea. So this is ready. And so now it's time to roll this out into, I think the best way, I'm going to do this directly onto the pizza pan. I tried it the other way and it started to kind of fall apart on me. So I'm going to start over, and I'm going to do this directly on my pizza pan. And this time I'm going to put a little of this cornmeal on the pan. You don't have to do that, but I like the texture of that. And why not? It's my pizza, right? So I think this will work better by putting this directly on the pan and just rolling it from there, instead of having to worry about trying to transfer it and all of that stuff. I think the best way to roll it out is to just kind of do it in a circle like this till it gets to the size that you want. And to be honest, I think that this doesn't need to go much bigger than this, because when I made it a little bit bigger, it was just too thin. So I would say this is probably about a medium pizza. If you want to make a large pizza, like probably the size of my pan, you definitely are going to want to use more ingredients, maybe double the ingredients. Oh, but this is awesome. I'm very happy with the way this looks. So this, I'm going to just take the edges and fold them up. Doesn't have to be perfect. One thing I love about this vegan life is the new things I'm learning, and just the new things that I'm incorporating into my lifestyle. It's fun. So it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be where you can't eat foods that taste great and you can no longer have your favorite foods. You just have them in a different way. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get some olive oil, and we're going to coat this crust with olive oil. Okay, I just have a little bit of olive oil. Probably need a little bit more than this. Just going to coat the pizza with the olive oil. Sorry if you can hear anybody screaming. The kids playing outside. Okay, now that that's coated with the olive oil, I'm going to poke holes in the bottom, just like pie crust. The best thing about making things at home is you have control over what's going in, what you're making. Because people can say they're doing, you know, this, that, and whatever with your food, but sometimes that's not always the truth. Okay, the next part is to put on the toppings. All right, so now is the fun part. We're going to put the toppings on the pizza, and I have some pizza sauce. This is just, I have organic, true goodness, traditional pizza sauce. Maybe at some point I make my own pizza sauce, but today we are using something already made. And this is also a great thing. You can control how much sauce that you put on your pizza. If you like a lot of sauce, well, here you go. You can put as much on here as you would like. In this jar, there's still a lot left in the jar, so I could probably make about 3 of these pizzas. Then I am going to put, now some people put the cheese on first. I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Have some Daya mozzarella style shreds. And I've tried, they have a pizza out. And I've tried it. It tastes pretty good, but the crust is real thin and it's kind of gets hard. So that's one of the reasons why this has motivated me to make my own. I'm going to add some spinach. Maybe kind of break it up a little bit. These are big leaves. And then I have just some white mushrooms I'm going to put on here. Oh, guys, I'm getting excited. I am getting excited about this. I'm ready. This size is a perfect size for one person. I'm just saying. It's a personal pan. It's a personal size pizza. Just a little bit bigger than maybe you could get in a restaurant, but if you like to eat like me, this is a perfect size. Okay. That's probably enough mushroom. And I think what I want to do is drizzle over a little bit of olive oil on these veggies to make sure that they get nice and soft. This is optional. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese. I haven't used these shreds before, so I don't know how they do, but I have used their other cheese in another recipe and it did just fine. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. I have the oven at 400 degrees. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take, but I'm going to time it and let you guys know at the end of the video. So here we go, guys. The pizza is out of the oven now. I had it in for about 25 minutes. You may want to check yours about at 20 minutes just to see where we're at. The crust is a little crispy on the edges. I like mine a little softer, so I may do it a little less time the next time. But this was my first try at it, so just check it to make sure it's where you want it. And there we go. Mushroom and spinach pizza, vegan cheese and vegan ingredients, and I can't wait to try it. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for new videos. Bye.